The last hope. The emergency lights flashed red across the control room of Outpost 7. Commander. Orin pressed his thin fingers against the console, watching the numbers drop. Shield strength, 23%. Hull integrity, 41%. Time until complete failure, 12 minutes. Another hit on the eastern wing. Someone shouted behind him. Orin closed his large eyes for a moment. The Velari were not warriors. They were traders, explorers, scientists. For 300 years, his people had traveled the stars in peace. They had never needed weapons. They had never needed to fight Dot until today. Dot the Krolix had come without warning. 6 warships, dark and deadly, had dropped out of hyperspace 3 hours ago. They wanted the station's supplies. The cargo ships docked in the bay, and they did not care who died in the process. "Sir, the medical bay is full," said Lyra, his second officer. Her voice shook. "We have more wounded than beds." Orin looked at the view screen. Outside, the Krolix ships circled like predators. Their weapons glowed with charging energy. One of the Velari cargo ships exploded in silence, turning into debris and fire. 43 crew members had been on that ship. 43 souls gone in a flash of light. "Send the distress signal again," Orin ordered. "Send it to everyone. Send it to all frequencies." "Sir, we have been broadcasting for 2 hours," Lyra said quietly. "No one has answered. No one is coming." Orin knew she was right. The nearest Velari military station was 4 days away. The nearest allied species, the peaceful Terran, had no warships at all. The Galactic Council kept talking about peace, but they had no teeth, no strength. Another explosion rocked the station. Orin grabbed the edge of his console to stay standing. The lights flickered. Somewhere in the distance, someone screamed. "Shield strength at 11%, reported the tactical officer. 11%. Maybe 8 minutes left. Maybe less. Orin thought about his daughter, safe on the homeworld. He thought about the 274 people still alive on this station. He thought about how he had failed them all. The communication console beeped. Lyra's eyes went wide. "Sir, we have a response to the distress signal." "Who?" Orin moved to her station, hope rising in his chest for the first time in hours. "Who is responding?" Lyra touched her screen, reading the data. "It says, humans? Humans?" Orin searched his memory. He had heard the name before. A new species. They had made contact with the galactic community only 10 years ago. Young, primitive, some said. From a planet called Earth in a distant arm of the galaxy. "What are they saying?" Orin asked. Lyra listened to her earpiece, then translated. "They say, Outpost 7, this is the human carrier Defiant. We received your distress call. Hold your position. We are coming. Sir, they are only 30 minutes away." 30 minutes. But the shields would fail in 8 minutes. Maybe less. "Send them our thanks," Orin said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Tell them to hurry." He did not say what he was thinking. It would not matter. These humans would arrive to find only wreckage and bodies. The Krolix would finish the station long before help could arrive. But at least someone had answered. At least someone had tried. "Shield strength at 6%, the tactical officer said. Outside the view screen, the Krolix ships moved into position for the final attack. Their weapons glowed brighter, ready to fire the killing blow. Orin stood straight and tall. If these were his final moments, he would face them with dignity. Then something impossible happened. The space between the station and the Krolix fleet rippled like water. Reality bent and tore. And through those tears came ships 20 human warships, dark gray and covered in armor, dropping out of hyperspace like falling stars. Lyra gasped. "They are here. The humans are here." The Deathworlder Shuan warships moved like nothing. Orin had ever seen. Fast, aggressive. They did not slow down or hesitate. They flew straight toward the Krolix fleet, with their weapons already firing. What are they doing? Lyra whispered. They will crash. But the humans did not crash. At the last second, the lead ship, the carrier Defiant, rolled sideways, its cannons blazing. Missiles streaked through space, slamming into the nearest Krolix warship. The enemy vessel's shields flickered and died. The other human ships spread out in a battle formation that looked almost wild. They did not move in the careful, calculated patterns that Velari ships used. They moved like hunters, like predators who had found prey. "This is Captain Reed of the Defiant Outpost 7, a voice came through the speakers. It was deep, rough, and confident. "We have got this. Focus on getting your people to safety." Orin could not speak. He could only watch. The Krolix had been winning for 3 hours. Now, in less than 3 minutes, everything had changed. The human ships surrounded them, firing from all angles. When the Krolix tried to flee, the humans were faster. When the Krolix returned fire, the human ships simply took the hits and kept coming. "Their shields are down," the tactical officer reported, pointing at one of the human destroyers. "That ship has no shields, but it is still fighting." "Impossible," Lyra breathed. "One good hit will destroy it." But the human ship did not stop. It took fire from 2 Krolix vessels, armor plates breaking off into space. Orin could see scorch marks spreading across its hull. The ship should have retreated. Any sane captain would have retreated. Instead, it accelerated. The human destroyer rammed straight into the side of a Krolix warship. Metal screamed. Both vessels spun through space, locked together. Then the human ship fired its cannons at point-blank range, drilling holes through the Krolix hull. "They are insane," someone whispered in the control room. 2 more Krolix ships exploded under the combined fire of human cruisers. The remaining 3 tried to form a defensive position, but the humans did not give them time. Captain Reed's carrier launched small fighter craft, dozens of them, swarming like angry insects. "Lyra," Orin said slowly, "what is the gravity on the human homeworld?" Lyra checked her database. Her face went pale. "Sir, it says Earth has gravity 1.4 times standard. Temperature ranges from extreme cold to extreme heat. Toxic atmosphere in some regions. Multiple deadly predators. It is classified as a world. A death world. A planet so dangerous that most species would die just trying to survive there. And humans had evolved there. Humans had grown strong there." Orin finally understood. The Krolix commander must have realized it too, because his ships suddenly broke formation and tried to run. But it was too late. The human fighters were everywhere, firing missiles and energy weapons. One Krolix ship managed to jump to hyperspace. The others were not so lucky. "The Krolix flagship is trying to surrender," Lyra reported. Captain Reed's response was immediate. "Surrender accepted. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded." Boarded. Orin's blood went cold. The Krolix were dangerous warriors, strong and brutal in close combat. Boarding their ship would be suicide, but the humans did it anyway. Orin watched on the view screen as human soldiers in armor attached to the Krolix hull. They cut through the outer doors with bright torches. Then they went inside. For 15 minutes, Orin heard nothing. He imagined the worst humans dying in the dark corridors of the enemy ship, overwhelmed by Krolix warriors. Then Captain Reed's voice returned. "Outpost 7, the Krolix ship is secure. We have prisoners. Some of my people are injured but functional. We are sending medical teams to your station now. How many wounded do you have?" 87, Orin replied, his voice shaking. "But Captain, your injured soldiers will be fine," Reed interrupted. Humans heal fast. We will help your people first. The first human shuttle arrived 20 minutes later. The doors opened and soldiers stepped out. Orin stared. Several of them had visible injuries, burns, cuts, broken armor. One was limping. Another had blood on her helmet, but they were all walking, all moving, all ready to work. The lead soldier, a woman named Lieutenant Grant, nodded to Orin. "Where do you need us, Commander?" Orin pointed toward the medical bay with a trembling hand. "This way." "And Lieutenant? Thank you. You saved us." Grant smiled. It was not a gentle smile. It was the smile of a predator who had just won a fight. "That is what Deathworlders do," she said. Understanding Earth. The medical bay was chaos. Velari doctors moved between beds, treating burns and broken bones. The smell of antiseptic filled the air. Orin walked through slowly, checking on his people. In the corner, he saw something strange. A human soldier sat on the floor, leaning against the wall. His armor was removed, and Orin could see a deep cut across his shoulder. Blood had soaked through the bandage. The wound looked serious, the kind that would put a Velari in bed for weeks. But the human was eating a sandwich. "Excuse me?" Orin approached carefully. "Should you not be lying down?" "That injury." The soldier looked up and grinned. "This? No, it is just a scratch. I have had worse. One time back on Earth, I fell off a cliff during training. Broke 3 ribs. Still finished the exercise." Orin stared. "You ... finished? With broken ribs?" "Well, yeah." The soldier took another bite of his sandwich. "The instructors would have failed me if I quit." A Velari doctor rushed over, scanner in hand. "Human soldier, your wound needs proper treatment. You have lost significant blood. You should be unconscious." The soldier shrugged. "I feel fine. Just need some food and water. Maybe a few hours of sleep. I will be good tomorrow." The doctor looked at Orin with wide eyes. Neither of them knew what to say. Across the bay, another human soldier was helping move supplies. He had a bandage wrapped around his head and walked with a slight limp. When a Velari nurse tried to make him sit down, he just laughed and kept working. "They are all like this," the Velari doctor whispered to Orin. "I have treated 15 human soldiers. Burns, cuts, broken bones injuries that would hospitalize our people for months. But they act like it is nothing." One of them asked if we had a gym so he could exercise while recovering. Orin shook his head in disbelief. What kind of world creates people like this? "A deadly one," said a voice behind him. Orin turned to see Captain Reed standing in the doorway. The human captain was tall, with short dark hair and scars on his face. He looked tired but alert. "Captain Reed," Orin said, bowing his head in respect. "Thank you again for saving us. Your people are remarkable." Reed walked over to the window, looking out at the stars. "You want to know about Earth, don't you?" "Everyone does, after they see us fight." "Yes," Orin admitted. "Your world is listed as a death world in our databases, but I did not understand what that meant." "Not really." Reed was quiet for a moment. Then he began to speak. "Earth has gravity that would crush most species if they tried to walk around. Our weather kills thousands of people every year. Storms, floods, freezing cold, burning heat. We have animals that hunt in packs, animals with venom that stops your heart, animals strong enough to break bones with one bite." He turned to face Orin. "And that is just the land. Our oceans are worse. Creatures with dozens of teeth. Predators that can smell blood from miles away. Things that live so deep underwater that the pressure would flatten most ships. How did you survive?" Orin asked quietly. Reed smiled, but it was not a happy smile. We learned to be tougher than everything else. We learned to fight. We learned to work together. We learned that if you get hurt, you keep moving, because stopping means dying. Earth does not care if you are tired or scared or in pain. You survive or you do not. Orin felt a chill run through him. He had grown up on a world with gentle weather and peaceful animals. He had never feared his own planet. He could not imagine what it would be like to live on Earth. For millions of years, Reed continued, humans have been climbing our way up from the bottom of the food chain. We have been prey and predator both. We have faced ice ages, diseases, famines, wars. And we are still here. That is what makes us Deathworlders. And now you travel the stars, Orin said. Now we travel the stars, Reed agreed. And we help people who call for help. Because we know what it is like to be in danger. We know what it is like to think you are going to die. Lyra's voice came over the station intercom. Commander Orin, we have more ships arriving. Orin and Reed hurried to the control room. On the view screen, Orin saw dozens of ships dropping out of hyperspace. Human ships carriers, destroyers, cruisers, supply vessels. A whole fleet. What is this? Orin asked. Reed crossed his arms, looking proud. The rest of the human expeditionary force. When we heard your distress call, we knew one fleet might not be enough. So we called for backup. He glanced at Orin. Humanity is new to the galactic community, Commander. We do not have many friends yet. But we want to change that. We want to be the species that shows up when someone calls for help. Orin felt his eyes grow wet. You already are, Captain. You already are. Over the next few days, humans and Velari worked together to repair Outpost 7. The humans shared their technology. The Velari shared their knowledge. And slowly, carefully, a friendship began to grow. 1 week later, Orin stood with Captain Reed at a ceremony. Representatives from a dozen species had come to see the human fleet. Some looked curious. Some looked nervous. All of them looked impressed. Are you ready? Reed asked. For what? Orin replied. For the galaxy to change, Reed said. Humanity is here now. We are not the strongest species. We are not the smartest. But we are the ones who will fight for what is right. We are the ones who will answer the call. Orin looked at the human ships in orbit above. He thought about the soldiers who had bled to save his people. He thought about the world called Earth, so deadly and beautiful and harsh. I believe you, Orin said simply, and across the galaxy, word began to spread. If you were in danger, if you needed help, if all hope seemed lost, call the Deathworlders. Call the humans. They would come. Asterisk,